So today I want to talk about 5 types of fear. You might want to get a pen. Now, if you're writing an offer or if you're building a brand and you're trying to solve a problem, there are a certain number of fears that an audience will have, a person will have in life, that if you can understand some of those, you might be able to solve them, reassure them, resolve them, change them, or take the wind out of them, let's say. Now, this is more I know my content's usually about branding, but this is slightly more about customer avatars, customer profile, knowing more about your audience, or at least trying to understand them better. So the 5 types of fears. Number 1 would be firsthand. So F. This will spell fears, by the way. Firsthand. Now, what is a firsthand fear? Firsthand fear is essentially failure, uncertainty, rejection in society. So really simple, basic human things. We all fear being rejected by the people we care about or by our group or our tribe. We all are afraid of failure. That's why a lot of people never do anything. And sometimes why people do stuff and quit. And uncertainty. Uncertainty, as humans, we're desperate to know about, or desperate to be certain about things. You know, the stock market is only going to go up forever. You know, this will happen. Buy this, it will sort everything. Everyone wants certainty in life, and uncertainty is a big fear. The next one, E in fears, is existential. Now, what does existential mean? Let's say if you're having an existential crisis or you're having an existential fear, you're probably afraid of death or the meaning of life, or what is freedom? What's free speech? What's, little things that are very hard, philosophical, tricky questions that would make you prang out a little bit. A, we're going to go for abstract fears. Now, what is an abstract fear? Let's say ghosts, aliens, meteorites, these phobias. So people being afraid of, apples or bubbles or small corners. I guess agoraphobia actually can be quite bad, but there are some quite mad phobias out there that they're just quite abstract. There's not really a real reason why they exist, but they do. Next one would be R, which is rational fears. Now, we all have rational fears. What is a rational fear? I mean, paying rent, paying a mortgage, knowing where your next meal is going to come from, heating, energy, bills, whether the stock market is going to crash, whether inflation is going to keep going up. These are very rational fears to have. And it's good to understand that these ones shouldn't be, when you're talking about rational fears, same as first-hand fears, you can't be very dismissive of them. They're quite important fears. And finally, S, in the fears acronym, we have sensational fears. Now, sensational fears, I would just describe that as the news, to be honest. News, politics, if it bleeds, it leads, that kind of stuff. That mantra of especially how news is nowadays, it's very sensational. It's very clickbaity. It's very, market driven to touch all those very behavioral economics kind of manipulation kind of stuff. And that can cause some very tangible fears. So let's go through that again. So you've got F, you've got firsthand. E, you've got existential. A, you've got abstract. R, you've got rational. S, you've got sensational. And that spells fears. And that's good to understand, especially, even in yourself, it's good to understand if you want to briefly stop talking about the customer or the audience and branding and start talking about yourself and where you are at in your business or your life. Knowing and being able to label some of the fears that you have and articulate that is a good step in general. But 5 types of fears.